Morning and happy Tuesday. Today we're going to be going over the May 5th portion of the distance learning packet. We're going to start with some reading, go over a little bit of writing, and then finally the math. So let's go ahead and get started. Today they want you to read for 15 minutes. You can either use a book of your own, or there are some foldable books in the back of this distance learning packet you can use, but you can also use resources online such as Storyline Online, or find stories through other resources as well. They also want you reading the two stories, Fishing in the Desert on page 29. We want you to read through the story and then ask how the story relates to how a mountain changes on the next page. So there are two very short stories, as you can see here. So this is Fishing in the Desert, and then this is how a mountain changes. So reading both of those stories and then talking about how the stories relate to each other. And then you're going to be getting into the writing. How does the story Fishing in the Desert relate to the story How Mountain Changes? This is a sentence starter for you to get started. The story Fishing in the Desert relates to the story Mountain Changes, and then you go ahead and write how you think it relates. And remember, when you're writing about something relating, you're going to be using words such as similar or the same in that writing prompt. And then for writing, we also have a simple and compound sentence worksheet. Remembering that a sentence is a group of words that tell a complete thought. To form a compound sentence, join two or more simple sentences with a comma and a linking word such as and, but, or. So this is an example of a simple sentence. I like music, I like to read. Those are two simple sentences. If we wanted to make that a compound sentence, remembering that compound means more than one. So you're taking a sentence and you're breaking it into more than one part using that comma and that linking word. So taking those two simple sentences and making it a compound sentence, you would then put your first thought, I like music, comma, adding that linking word, and I like to read, and then ending it with a period. I'm going to go through 1, 2, and 3 with you, and then I'm going to want you to try 4, 5, and 6 on your own. So number 1, it's asking us to underline both simple sentences that form the compound sentence. And then we're going to circle the word that joins the sentence, focusing on each individual thought and then identifying that linking word. So number 1, Ryan lost his library book. Because that is a complete thought, we're going to underline that. And then comma, and Jose found it. Jose found it is a complete thought. And the joining word there is going to be and. So we are going to circle and. Number 2, Kayla likes nonfiction. Because that is a complete thought, that is going to be the first part of that sentence that is underlined, comma, but Nathan likes folktales. Because Nathan likes folktales is also a complete thought, we are going to underline that, and then our joining word there is but. And finally, number 3, I will meet you at the library. That is a final thought, so we are going to underline that portion of the sentence, comma, or I will see you later. I see you later is also a complete thought, so that is going to be the second part that is underlined. Noticing that each of these compound sentences have a comma and a joining word, and I'm going to circle that. For number 4, 5, and 6, you need to combine the two simple sentences to make a compound sentence. Add a comma and a linking word, write the compound sentence on the line. We will actually do number 4 together. First, we have two simple sentences. We have Julie shouted hello, period, I answered. So in order to make this a compound sentence, we need to add a comma and then a linking word. And it's finding which linking word is going to help the compound sentence make sense. We're going to be using and, but, or the word or. So we're going to start with Julie shouted hello, remembering we're adding a comma and a linking word. The second part is I answered. So Julie shouted hello and I answered is going to make sense. So we're going to add and I answered. Period. Remembering that when we're doing these, we need to start each sentence with a capital letter and we have to end that with punctuation. So go ahead and try number 5 and 6 on your own. If you have any questions, remember you can always reach out to me on class tag or in the comments section below and I will get back to you. So that is the last of writing, and we're going to end with math today. And today we're going to be decomposing numbers to make 100, because when you decompose those numbers to make 100 and using what is left over, it's going to make it easier to add. So here we have a math task. Peyton and Presley discuss addition. Remember, addition was we're finding the sum, so you're adding those two numbers together. Peyton said, I can solve 47 plus 65, and he showed this strategy. 47 plus 65 equals 100 plus 12 equals 112. So this is the strategy that Peyton used. Presley said, that doesn't make sense. Explain why that works. So part A of this math task, they want us to draw a diagram to show Peyton's thinking. Well, the equation is asking what is the sum of 65 plus 47. So what we need to do is we need to break 47 apart. And when you break that apart, you're decomposing that number. And we're going to add enough to 65 to make 100. So we know that 47, we know there are 12 left because we know there's 12 left because Peyton added the additional 12 here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 47 and we're going to subtract 12 from that. So there we're finding the difference. The difference there is 35. So that's telling us that 65 plus 35, the sum of that is 100. And we know that we subtracted 12, so decomposing 47 into 35 and 12. Well, 65 and 35 equal 100. And then we're adding the additional 12, which equals 112. So all we're doing is we're decomposing that numbers to make 100. We're adding what is left to find the sum. So because 100 plus 12 equals 112, that also tells us 65 plus 47 equals 12. So that is the diagram you should draw to show Peyton's thinking. Now we're going to move on to letter B of that math task whereas we showed here the diagram, now we're going to explain the thinking and the strategy and why it works. So your answer would be Peyton's strategy works because Peyton decomposed the number. Peyton did not use different numbers. She still used the same numbers. She just broke them apart to make 100. She took apart the 47 and added part of it to 65 to make 100. Then she added what was left over to 100. This gives you the sum of the original numbers. So that would be a way to explain the thinking. All Peyton did was decompose the numbers. She broke them apart, made 100, and added what was left, making it easier to add 100 than the 47 and 65. Okay, and moving on, we have some math procedural practice, and here it's asking us to find the sum of 199 plus 43. You can make 100 to help you add. Take apart 43 to make 1 plus 42. Then add 1 to 199 to make 200. Then add 42 to 200 to get 242. Showing that using the diagram. So basically we have 199 plus 43. Understanding that it is going to be a lot easier to add 200 to what is left. So we're going to take some from 43. We're going to decompose 43, taking 1 away because 199 is 1 away from 200. So when we decompose 43 and we give the 1 to 199 to make 200, there's 42 left. So 200 plus 42 equals 242. And because we decompose that number, that also lets us know that 199 plus 43 is also 242. So all we're doing is borrowing from the second add-in enough to make it an even 200 and then adding what is left. So that is a little bit of, we're explaining it there, and we're going to try a couple on our own. So we're moving on to the next slide. We need to make 100 to add. So here we have 77 plus 298. Because this is so close to 300, we're going to borrow some from 77, enough to make 200. And then whatever is left, we will add to the 200. So if we decompose 77, giving us enough to make 298, 298 is 2 spots away from 300. So we know that is going to be 2. And then if we take the 2 away from 77, we are left with 75. So 75 plus 2 plus 298. So 298 plus 2. That is linking that together. So now we have 75 plus, well, 298 plus 2 is going to be the 300. Make that a little bit bigger. So 70, if we add to 375. That gives us 375. That one a little bit wider. So because 75 plus 300 equals 75, that lets us know that the original equation 77 plus 298 also equals 375 because we didn't change any of the numbers. We simply broke apart and decomposed up 77. None of the values changed. We just took some from 77 and added them to 298. Moving on to number 2, we will go ahead and do the same thing. We have 237 plus 99. So what we're going to do is we are going to take some from 237 because 99 is so close to 100. It is 1 away, so what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 away from 237, which is going to leave us with 236. And we're going to add that 1 over there, making that 100. Oh, no, making that 1, sorry. Okay, so now we have 236, which is represented here on our diagram, and now we need to add 1 and 99, which makes up that 100. And if we add those together, 236, and we add another 100 to that, focusing on that hundreds column, we know that is 336. So because 236 plus 100 equals 336. That is telling us, again, we did not change any of the values of these numbers. We just decomposed 237 to make 99 and even 100. So that lets us know that 237 plus 99 is also 336. And that is all for the distance learning packet today. Again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me through class tag or leaving a message in the comment section below. I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and we will talk soon. Goodbye.